What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank, and like I usually do, I have a thought, right? And I'm thinking about, us African people, right? If you think about one very, very central, thing about what we kind of like all beef with, or one central topic, or it's just one simple thing, really, that we're so wrapped up in that we kind of, fight each other. We find ways to fight each other over this particular thing, right? And it's a name, right? Now, how ironic that African Americans, we fight over names. I mean, we all have fights over names. All our tribal situations, all that is just actually over names. Everything's kind of just over names, really. And sometimes names that we did not give ourselves. Like, we have African countries who are fighting because they got named. Okay? They got territories that cause conflict because they got renamed, right? You have people who were put in power because they were named to be so. Yet again, not a choice of those particular people that cause conflict. And in America, we African Americans, uniquely in our own way, have a very big issue with names. You understand? And that's why, if you notice that anytime when it involves with a name, when it comes to us, is always conflict, right? And yet to this day we still have not named ourselves, because the thing is, we already had a name. When we were in Africa, we had a name. We all had names. Those names were taken from us, beaten away from us. All right? All sorts of evil things were done over a long period of time by a group of people to strip away our names. And in the name is your identity, who you are. Your, that thing that makes you tick. Your, you know what I'm saying? That thing was taken from us systematically. So as we come out of the fire, and we done went through several different names by our oppressor, yet again, we didn't name ourselves, right? And so, but we also get, our name always seems to change, right? Whether it's, nigga, which is a derivative of negro, which means black. So keep in mind, guys, just so you guys can understand, that nigga is what English people were saying because they couldn't say negro, which is the Spanish way of saying black. So the whole time we've been called black. It's just that they found a way to say black in a negative way, which is nigga. But nigga means black, legitimately. Even though the hard R is the disrespectful portion, but negro, as it's spelled properly, is a proper term. So nigger is not even a true English word, but most English words are not really, because we add to them all the time, but it's not a true word. That's a made up word from the word negro. Okay, because like I said, English people could not do the accents of the Spanish and the Portuguese in them, right? So we've always been black, which means African, because they identified Africans as black. That's why they called us negro, from Africa. Africa, black, means the same thing. So that's why I use black and African interchangeably. But the thing is, we've lost so much. Not only did we lose our fathers' names, our mothers' names, our sisters' names, our brothers' names, we lost our tribal names, We lost our kingdom's names. We lost all of our names. Think about how many names we had, who we were. Most of our ancestors were warriors. They were either warriors that got captured because they lost that battle, all right, or they got captured because their village got raided or town got raided, or maybe they sold themselves into it, not knowing what they were selling themselves into, or maybe it was unfortunate and just got raided by a conquering power. But either way, they had names that came with history, that came with identity, oneself. We lost that. So we've always now, even to this day, African Americans, we're sitting here. That's one thing, everybody else have lost a lot of things, okay? Continental Africans has lost a lot, just like we've lost a lot. But one thing they didn't lose was their family name. At least they got that. They know who their kingdoms are. They know the true maps. They understand these countries, but there's true maps, and they still treat those areas as such. That's another issue that people don't talk about. Europe forced these countries, but these people have been living in a certain way for a long time, and they're not going to change that instantly. It's only been 60 years. Okay? So just understand that these people, they have that at least, even though a lot was taken from them. Their kingdoms, their identity as far as their art, their works, their achievements, their names, their people, which is us. They stole their names. We were theirs. They stole us from them. Okay, we're a part of that. But the unique thing about us is we literally lost our family name. So, if you notice, look at how, like some of these names here, right? We always make fun of our ghetto names, right? Oh, yeah, the ghetto name, because it's not a simple name like a European name that's simple to say, right? Like an Anglo-Saxon European name that's easy to say, so they can pronounce it. Once again, that's why we have to speak their language so they can understand us, right? Everything that we do. But the names that we've come up for ourselves, we've been made fun of because of it. Because we always knew that our names were not Bill, Jill, Susie, and such and such and such. No, our names had something to it, right? So you got Amos, right? You got Ludacris, Solomon. Some of these people, you have names in America, right? Moesha, Yandre, Karen, Talisa. What's that? Colin, Terrell, Laquana, Jamal, Tyrell, Michael. Now, yes, does some of that spelled differently? Yeah, but can you say it that way? You know how we use it. You know how advanced we are when it comes to names and language. Y'all understood what I said when I was saying them off, because if you see those words, you can say what I just said, right? And I did that with my regular American just accent. Just for shits and giggles, right? I did that with an American, just to show you guys how similar we really are, right? I'm gonna do my best West African accent and try to say these names all over again, right? The same names that I just said in African American, Mid-Eastern African American accent. I'm gonna try to do it with some African, African accent, just so you can get my point. I'm doing this just to get a point, not to make fun. Okay? All right. And we're gonna start at the top with Amos, Ludacris, Solomon, Moesha, Yandri, Loken, Talase, Kaluna, Karumi, Turel, Tulashi, Okwande, Makale, Jumal. Did y'all get that? Now I did my best, right? I can do better when I was on the spot, got kind of nervous. But anyway, so if you notice, I said the same words, but I said it with a black African original true, well, I tried to, accent. And notice, those words, even though I may have said them something wrong, I may have said them slightly different, but you get it. Especially the way we as West Africans, a lot of African Americans don't know this, but African Nigerians, which most of us African Americans are Nigerian by lineage. We are. And see, in Nigerians, some of their languages are tonal, right? Another group that have tonal languages are Japanese. What that mean is the elevation of your voice can change the meaning of the word, right? That's why, like, Yoruba is so hard to learn, because there's another dynamic to the entire language that you have to learn, that if you're an English speaker, you speak linear Latin. Like, you talking about some serious complicated stuff. All right, it's a little more difficult because there's a lot of steps you have to learn before you even get to the pronunciation, all those things in the new alphabet, right? So that makes that language complicated. But the thing is, our African lips were made to say those words. We can do that. And so because we lost our own names. We lost our own names. So for some reason within our DNA, we still try to recreate those names, not even knowing, not having any type of like real reference, except for whispers of a name of a grandma, who kind of remember her grandma or something like that. Vague memories. But for the most part, we had to recreate it. So we've been doing that this whole time. That's why we make fun of ourselves with our complicated, unnecessary names. Taknisha, Noxema. We do all sorts of names. We try to make it sound African, and we've been told that the way we make our names sounds ghetto, right? Even the way we speak English, we still utilize tonal techniques within our slang. Sometimes the elevation of our words changes the meaning. I mean, the elevation of our sound changes the meaning of our words. We do it. We're like known for it here. We do it. Our expression. Because we as Africans have the most complicated linguistics skills and talent in the world. We've been speaking longer than everybody else. Everybody else just got their little languages. We've been doing this and we gave them theirs. The way we speak is so complicated, but it's always been made fun of. It's all because everything about us that they love and envy, everything that they want and can't have, they have to downplay to make themselves feel better. So if you just think about every stereotype that you hear about Black African Americans, and just if you really look at it hard, it's really just African things, right? Like let's take for instance the ghetto looking Taknisha and with the colors in their hair, right? With the multicolored hair and the extensions and doing this and doing that. Let's be honest. Yes, we do have a problem with black girls. We don't really like them using them white girl hair and the horse and all that stuff. We like them to be proud of their hair. But let's just take, for example, reality. Let's take the black woman's hair and how she likes to color and modify it in extreme ways, right? And she gets called ghetto for it, right? But you look at the extreme hairstyles of Europe, just in the Victorian area, that's not considered ghetto. What about the big hair era of the 50s and 60s? That's not ghetto. No, only our hairstyles were ghetto. But if you look at our hairstyles that we do right now, we put the little braids and the curls and the red and the pink and the green. You go to Africa and you look at those tribes and how they traditionally wear their hair, you will notice they do exactly the same thing over there. And we've been doing that for thousands of years. Putting the pink and the green and these things and that thing and putting this type of stuff in our hair. We've been putting other things in our hair other than our hair in our hair for thousands of years, to be honest. And that's the truth. Okay? So everything that's ghetto, that perceivably ghetto, that we look at as negative as African Americans, is actually just something that Africans do naturally that we still practice. Making it rain in the club, making it rain, dudes showing off by spraying money, that's an African trait. You go to Africa, you'll find out that they spray money everywhere for everything. You better have some money when you reach in your pocket and you start spraying. It's your tradition. Paying libations when pouring out for my dead homies. Yeah, they consider that ghetto with my 40. Guess what? We've been pouring out palm wine for our dead relatives and our dead friends for thousands of years. That's an African thing that we do, that people consider African American. Ghetto, right? That's an African thing. We loud. Guess what? They loud. Why? Because that's an African thing. We loud and boisterous. You know? We project our magnificent voices everywhere on this earth. As loud as anybody wants to, hear. You know that. We do that. That's an African thing. But you see, because we got our names taken, we couldn't identify the actions of the things that we do, the things we consider culture. We couldn't identify what it was because we didn't know the name. Okra. You didn't know that's an African food. We brought that over here. Rice. That's an African food. We brought that over here. Only 2 places in the world that grow rice. Africa and Asia. Okay? The tomato is an African, a very West African thing. And the yam, that's an African thing. The cassava, African thing. You Caribbeans, that's an African thing. Y'all brought it with you from over there. All that Caribbean food, that's African food. All your real African American food, soul food, not just that greasy, we over greased stuff that sometimes we cook. African Americans have soul food that's healthy. Real black people food, that's African food. You're just cooking African food. The only thing you don't have is a few ingredients, so you substitute that what you have around you. That's similar. That's it. Everything you've been doing has been African. Your whole culture is African, infused with white people, because we've been over here and we live with them. That's it. And you'll know that when you go to Africa and find out. That's just the facts about it. That's just what it is. But you'll never find out until you go, because the amount of Africans that you see here are not enough sample size for you to have a full breast of what Africa really looks like. When we say there's people that look just like you, there's people that look just like you. All right, everybody ain't. The majority of them are dark, yes, but there's a lot of light skin, a lot of red bone, a lot of real ones, not the bleach ones. There's bleach ones there too, but a lot of real natural light skin women that look like any African American. African Americans look exactly like Nigerians, exactly like Cameroonians, exactly like them, Out of all the groups in Africa, out of all the places in Africa, African Americans look the most like Cameroonians and Nigerians. Period. That's what we look like. But you won't know until you go over there, because all you see is the super dark guy that's over here, and you think that all look like that, but that's not it. All right, you just haven't seen enough yet. But anyway, let me wrap this up. I've been talking for a while, but it's the name. We got to identify the source of our pain, the source of our agony. We got to pinpoint it, and we got to isolate it, and then figure out how to do something about it. And so we need to be conscious about the names and why we always fight over names. FBA, ADOS, this and that. I'm a Hebrew, I'm a Christian, I'm a Islam. We got everybody else's name but our own. That's the problem. We got everybody else's name but our own. The closest thing we got is African American. African by origin, American by where you live. But we can call ourselves African. But guess what? Because that is our name. None of this other stuff is our name. We can take that. That's ours. African. And then when you do your DNA, you can get even more specific. And that's just what it is. It's all about the name. Well, it's not all of it. It's just part of it. It's more. But it's a very big piece. It's the name, guys. Okay? So I want you guys to think about that. Tell me what you think about it in the comment section. Think about what I said. Do you have any input on that? Do you think I'm tripping, or do you think I got something going on with that? Let me know, okay? That's all I got to say for now, guys. Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.